if you're a month in, if you're 2 months in, if you're 3 months in, and you cannot say the script at the drop of a hat, you're not taking this seriously, and you should strongly reconsider something else because you're just going to bleed money, and that's not what you came in here to do.
This is Maxwell Baker, and not only did he close $19,000 1 week, but he's done it literally 3 different times on less than $1,000 of ad spend. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about his exact script. So if you stay till the end, he's going to be breaking down and actually going over the whole script from front to back, so you can just copy him, and maybe you can be hitting over $15,000 weeks as well. So Max, welcome to the podcast, man.
What is up, Johnny Nitta fan? Thank you for having me, good sir.
Of course, it's always good to have interviews like these because, dude, the big question I want to ask right away is how have you done 19,000 not only on just 1, 2, or even like how have you done it on 3 separate occasions where you've literally just been selling final expense telesales and scaled this when people are just DMing me constantly like, dude, how is this even real? How is this even possible? Like, what is this guy doing that's different? So dude, share some of the sauce, share some of the secrets.
I mean, I don't want to give out too much away at first, you know what I mean? I want to get dinner first at least. So it's a combination of many things, not just one. And there is no such thing as like a secret sauce, but consistent, good enough quality leads, right? You don't want to be so high quality that too expensive where you're not making money, because we came here to make money. At least I did. And then they don't want to be too low quality where they don't even know who you are calling, right? A nice combination in the middle. Get your cost per lead maybe around 7 to 10. That's fine. You need a good CRM to organize said leads. You need a local presence dialer, hell bent on local presence dialer. Okay. And then you need a good script, and you actually need to know what to say and how to say it, and you need good carriers, right? So there's so much in there, and you need good contracts too. But I don't know what you want to focus on, but that and actually working your leads effectively. So you cannot work leads effectively if you're actually not working. So it's hilarious. People come into this industry because they want freedom, yet they don't even work on the weekends when they first start. Okay, so it's like you need to be putting in the hours and actually dialing and calling the leads.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting is we have known each other for a little bit now, right? We've seen people come, we've seen people go. We've seen people at highs, we've seen people at lows, right? We've seen each other at highs, we've seen each other at lows, right? Which is crazy. But one thing that you really stuck out to me that you and I were having a separate conversation, and you were like, dude, I need to give this business 5 years to say I even tried. And I think this speaks a lot to your character as far as you didn't come out the gate swinging like how you are now. You've been constantly putting in the work that over time you've gotten better, which is awesome, right? And you're giving it actual time, but being aggressively patient, right? So talk a little bit about that as far as like how that mindset and how that thought process has really benefited you in your success thus far.
Sure. I mean, I definitely was not good from the beginning, but I don't really think anybody is. If they are saying they are good, I mean, I'd like to see the actual application and see if it's a real application, because no one's good when they start anything, right? And that's okay, but you don't have to be. I'm going to try my best not to swear. My dad got mad at me when I swore. So you don't have to be bad for long, right? It took me about a month to really get the momentum going, and then I kept the said momentum going. And regarding the 5-year thing, I actually didn't make that up. It was Patrick Bet David, the Don. So Patrick, if you see this, I'm your biggest fan. I love you, Patrick. Patrick for president. That's what our next hat's going to say. But point being is the beginning is very, very challenging, and especially if you're not doing it correctly, right? There's a lot of IMOs out there that are working terrible leads that are overpriced and they're not exclusive. If IMO says that a lead's exclusive, I'm going to tell you right now it's not. Okay? It's probably not. So after buying leads for so long that weren't exclusive, I got fed up. So that's why I work with you, Johnny, and you handle all my marketing because I have trust issues. Right? You're one of the only people I trust in the industry, right? So you got to give yourself time to learn the skill, and especially if you're doing outbound telesales. Outbound telesales is the most unforgiving, guys. I was so bad. I wanted to do virtual, but I was so bad. I would set I set 15 appointments. You know how many people showed up, Johnny?
Virtually?
Yeah, none showed up. Okay, 15 appointments. I thought I was the greatest because no one set 15 appointments in their first week, and I was like, oh yeah, I did it. Age leads, and then none of them showed up. You know how much money I made that week?
None.
I actually went backwards $700, and that's okay. All right, but I didn't sit there and cry about it. I said, "Dang, this sucks," and then I did it again, and then one person showed up, and then I didn't make a sale, and then two people showed up, and I made one sale, and then I kept on building that momentum, right? But you can't just stop because you're not good in the beginning, right? Like you have to give it a fair effort. That's the equivalent of this. That's like, say, Johnny, if you were my son, and like you tried to ride a bike, and then you fell down the first two times, and I'm like, wow, you're terrible. You know what? Maybe bike riding isn't for you, Johnny, and you just never
Mm-hmm.
learned. You never rode a bike ever again. So people got to be a little more nicer to themselves, especially when they're doing something new and as challenging
100%.
as final expense telesales or life insurance telesales. It's not an easy business. It's simple, but it's not easy.
We've gone through a lot of learning curves together. What are some of the biggest things that you've learned in the past year of doing final expense telesales?
Oh, how about billing? How about picking good carriers that have good billing? Man, so on one of my previous calls with Johnny, we talked about Great Western. I mean, you could Google Great Western and see how they're doing with how their final expense division is doing. But billing is critical.
Yeah.
Billing, true Social Security
Important.
billing is very, very important. If I say the hardest lesson learned and for final expense, because I've only been doing final expense one call close for just over a year, because you started and then I joined your team about 6 months later. So it's only been about a year, final expense one call
Yep.
close. And we were writing everything under the sun. Don't do
Hmm.
that. But
Yep.
billing is the most important. Billing and quality of business, I would say.
Yeah. You have to. I mean, that's an absolute must. Let's just get straight into it, dude. I mean, you are inside the community. What's cool is Max has really been coming in and actually like helping agents inside the community really like grow and scale as well, right? We're working in tandem to be able to actually get these agents profitable, get them wizards on the phone. One of the things that you've really been focusing on, which is really cool, and a lot of people are just, I mean, after the first training, I remember we had one of the biggest sales days inside it. I think we did 15, 20, 30K in
Mm.
sales, right? Like people just absolutely smashing. And so talk a little bit about the importance of like mastering the upfront objections.
I think a good intro will super okay a fresh lead and a fresh lead with a good intro and good tonality. So when I say intro, I mean tonality, pacing, and what you're actually saying and how you're saying it. I think, and if it's a decent enough lead, you shouldn't really get too much objections. But if said objection does come up, you need to know exactly how to say it and how to say it like this. Boom, really quick.
So what are the top ones that agents are going to be facing?
Okay, do you want to keep this tactical? Because we could rip through this real quick and actually
Yeah,
give some.
let's go
Because
straight tactical.
you know what I hate about a lot of life insurance podcasts is that like they're just like, oh, here's my story. It's like I don't care about your story. I want to make money. So let's get into it. Throw me an objection in the beginning.
I already got it taken care of, Max.
Perfect. That's exactly why I'm calling Johnny. Before you hang up here, your file's still open. I just need 30 seconds of your time to quickly close out your file, just so nobody else calls you back from our office. Okay. Congratulations on getting coverage. Real quick, Johnny, did you go with the A, B, or C coverage?
I went with the A option.
The A. Okay. Um. Okay. And
I
did you
think
know
A
about how
plus
much the?
A, and I went the A with the A and B option.
Okay. Cool. And huh, okay. And did you know about how much they were charging you a month?
Uh, it was actually the most affordable one. It was $107 a month.
Sorry, did you say 107?
Yeah,
Huh. And your date of birth is June the 11th, 1961, right?
yeah.
Okay, that's a little high, Johnny. Is that because you're in poor health?
No.
Uh, hmm. Okay. Yeah. What I'll always do for you, Johnny, I'm not gonna have a lot of time, is I'll just quickly run your case here and give you some additional rates. Therefore, you could, be confident that you're making the best decision for you and Bailey, right? That's the
Yeah.
beneficiary. Okay, great. Real quick, how tall are you? Boom.
5'8".
The idea is we want to pattern interrupt. That's exactly why I'm calling. Wait before you hang up. Keep them on the phone, right? And then immediately try to start creating doubt. So you could create doubt the way that I just said, or you could kind of keep, do it your own way. But the idea is pattern interrupt, keep them on the phone, create doubt, and then get into underwrite and get them into question answering mode. Very, very important. I want to immediately take control of the call.
Yeah, it's super important. Guys, a power phrase when you're getting these upfront objections is going to be perfect. That's the exact reason for my call. Perfect. That's exactly why I'm calling, right? Just getting that right off the bat. So, I mean, Max, can you call me back later? I'm super
Per-
busy right now.
Johnny, I'd love to, but what I could at least do for you is because we're just so busy on our end, is I'll quickly give you your rates and then you could give us a call back if it makes sense. Real quick, you're located in Arizona.
Yeah.
Boom. What did I just do there? Pound and interrupt. Perfect. That's exactly why I'm calling. Anytime someone says anything, Max, you smell. I hate you. Your hat sucks. Your tattoos suck. Perfect. That's exactly why I'm calling. Right? Pound and interrupt. I'd like to call you. I'm busy. You could call me back. Right? I'm going to give you your rates really quick. Right? Because they just want the rates. So that's how I pull them in. And then you could call me back, Johnny, because I'm busy. People aren't busy. I mean, sometimes they are, but if you could quickly rush them through underwriting, get them into question answering mode, and then you kind of control the tone with your call. Sorry, control the call with your tone, bring them down, and then take them through that presentation. Majority of the time, they're not that busy. They're just trying to get you off the phone, right?
Yep.
I'll set an appointment, maybe, if like they actually have to go and you could tell, but that's the easiest one to overcome. Very easy. Make them think they're going to get the rates, and then they're going to call me back. Because if I say, then you could call me back, pressure's off, right? Oh, this guy's just giving me the rates, and I have time to think about it, and I could call him back. No, no, no. If I give you those rates, we're taking a nap, Johnny.
There you go. Dude, that's huge. So, okay. Um what are the other ones that you're seeing? I already got it taken care of. I mean, I'm not
Call me back.
interested, right?
Yeah, so I mean, for Johnny, perfect. That's exactly why I'm calling. I mean, Johnny, life insurance is everyone's favorite topic, but we could both agree it's one of the most important, right? Real quick, you're located in Arizona. Boom. How to interrupt and just blow right past it. Okay. That one's very easy too, because it's just one sentence, right? So I think in the beginning, when you're just learning, we got to keep the script, everything as simple as possible, right? Because there's a lot to learn, it's very overwhelming. But that one's a very easy one to overcome. Very important, upfront objections are going to be very few and far between if you have good quality leads and you have a good intro is so important, right?
Yep.
I don't really get these upfront. I don't really get much objections to begin with, right?
Yep.
Typically, I'm getting, hey, could you call me back? Because the leads are fresh and they're actually exclusive to me. It doesn't mean they didn't fill out other ads on Facebook, but they're exclusive to me,
Yep.
right? So as long as I'm calling them in a timely manner, right? Typically, people want to talk, and that's great. So you shouldn't be getting that. But for aged leads, you got to be sharp. And I was trained on aged leads, a greasy 4 month aged mortgage protection lead in Florida. Okay, that's what I learned
It's
on.
important, honestly. Like what as I've really been seeing, I mean, now by now actually I've actually coached over 100 agents, right, that have actually come inside the community,
Right on.
grown their business, done their thing, right? And what's crazy is I've really identified who wins and who doesn't. The biggest thing, I mean, there's a lot, right? But the biggest thing that I'm seeing that are the winners have, right, like a Max who's doing $19,000 every other week, it feels like, or you have somebody who comes in and it doesn't or isn't successful, is their intro, right? I
Yeah,
have calls on here of like actually showing you guys how to do this. I have trainings on how to do this, but you have to master the first 5 to 7 seconds of the call. If they give an
agreed.
objection, pattern interrupt, you have to really rebuttal right away and you just keep going. Guys, if you notice, Max has a ton of confidence and conviction in what he's saying, and the person who has the most confidence and conviction in what they're saying is going to win at the end of the day. And so, what that confidence and conviction comes from is one, belief in the product, also the a bit like actually trusting in yourself and your ability from the work that you've already done, right? And so, how did you actually overcome? Like, how did you actually get to the spot where you're as confident as you are now, in exactly what to say and how to say it to these people that
Mhm.
you're calling?
So Patrick Brett David says in one of his videos, he got it from his mentor, was proper preparation prevents poor performance. So when you're starting off in the industry, Um, you say goodbye to music. You're going to delete Spotify. You're going to listen to a top producer present over and over and over and over again. I remember when I started doing Final Expense with you, Johnny, I didn't listen to music. I listened to Johnny Nitafan even when I slept. When I was doing mortgage protection, I listened to Gus Villagrand and Nate Offord on repeat when I slept, when I showered. Okay. Now, you might think that's a little weird, but my mentor, Gus Villigran, said, shout out to Gus Villigran, said, you have to become obsessive, right? So I'm a very obsessive person. I'm a little neurotic. I don't know if you could tell, but if you could translate your obsessiveness into learning this business, you could learn it very quickly. Johnny, when I started in Final Expense, obviously I had life insurance skills, but I learned that script top to bottom in maybe 3 days.
Yep.
Right. So if you ask yourself, if you're a month in, if you're 2 months in, if you're 3 months in, and you cannot say the script at the drop of a hat, you're not taking this seriously, and you should strongly reconsider something else because you're just going to bleed money, and that's not what you
Yep.
came in here to do. So all you need to do is get a recording, put this in your ear, bam, on repeat, on repeat, on repeat until you exactly sound like the person who is performing at a high level. Once when you're consistently selling, then you could add your little sprinkles. For example, when I first started in Final Expense, it was a Johnny Knit-A-Fan cupcake. And then I started adding the Maxwell Baker sprinkles. When I started in mortgage protection, it was the Nate Offer, the Gus Villigran cupcake, and then I added my sprinkles later. And if my
Yep.
cupcake started going bad, as if my sales started going bad, I would send a call review and we would get myself back on track because it happens, right? Sometimes you say stuff that shouldn't be said, and that's okay, but you have to monitor that. So listen to the script on repeat and don't stop listening to it. You get one song, you get two songs. When you go to the gym, when you go back from the gym, that's it. Other than that, it's called recordings. And then you should know that script 3 days max, okay? Because if you don't know your script, you're going to sound awkward on the phone. You need to know
Yep.
what to say so you can focus on how to say it. Don't sound like a robot, right? It's not going to get you far.
Yeah, I've recently paid into coaching and mentorship and training a lot recently. I mean, a good 5 figures in the past, like, I don't know, 3 weeks or so. And one of the biggest things that I've like learned in that is you want to learn your script like top to bottom, up, down, left, right, because people are like, oh, you don't have to follow script. And I honestly don't agree at all. I completely disagree, right? And so what I've learned and what I've found is that the reason why you memorize a script and you go up, down, left, right, and you just keep going and going and going and going and going and obsess over it like Max, because what's cool is it's the hardest part is getting to like 80% and then maintaining it's pretty easy, right?
Correct.
It's
Agreed.
it's way easier than just starting. And so it's like just cut the music, cut the podcast, stop listening to YouTube videos and just go and just listen to live sales calls. That's all you have to do, or
Yeah.
listen to the trainings on repeat over and over and over and over and over again. So you just obsess over it. And then it's in your subconscious mind. And now you could just start talking about it. But you have to actually
Correct.
say it out loud. That's a huge one. We have a 10 by 10 rule inside where it's like when you come in, you're actually repeating the script out loud 10 times. You send a recording to a coach and you're actually getting trained right away and actually role playing the script. I mean, you have to do these little things to be able to speed past the learning curve. It's nice to listen to it, and that's definitely helpful. And you're actually going to know if you sound bad or not. But
Uh-huh.
also, you have to actually put the time in. You have to put the energy in. You have to actually say it out loud over and over and over and over and over again. So you get familiar with it, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
actually become your words, and you can actively listen and you can hear actually what the prospect is saying, right? They might say, I already got it taken care of, but what's really behind that, right? We can actually
Mm-hmm.
figure that out. We have the ability to listen to them when they're saying, oh, things are too expensive. You don't just breeze past that because you're focused on the next part of the script. You're able to stop them, be like, wait, why? Is it because you're in bad health? Is it because XYZ reason? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it opens up the door to actively listen, which is super, super, super important. Right.
Mm-hmm.
What are like, go ahead.
In addition to that, so I think it's important for agents to start selling, like, one product, whether it's final expense or mortgage protection, and just focus on that at first because you're essentially having the same conversation over and over again.
Yep.
No presentation is going to be exactly the same, and you'll never be able to follow the script to 100%. But you do need to know it to follow the framework. But starting off selling one type of product or one type of insurance is really beneficial because you're essentially having the same conversation over and over and over and over again. And if it goes one way, you know to take it back on track, right? So
Yep.
I think the challenge with us when we started is we did okay when we first started. I'm not saying we were rookies of the year, top 10, but I mean we were when we joined halfway through the year. So pat ourselves on the back. The point being is that it was so much to learn. It was a appointment setting script. It was a lockdown script. There was full payoff. Then there was mortgage payment protection, and then there is IUL scripts. Like we had to learn 3 scripts. All we're asking you to do is learn one. if you're doing final expense. It's just one script, one call, close. There's no
Yeah.
excuse about why it should take you a month to learn your script. That drives me insane. Ugh.
Well, what's cool
Get my
is
blood pressure going, Johnny.
what's cool is experienced people, and you actually were well, you also said this as well. When experienced people come in and you've done mortgage protection, you've done IULs, and actually pivot into final expense, one call close, and you actually watch our like it go through the script, the feedback has overwhelmingly been, dude, I didn't even know it was this easy to sell.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's
not hard.
simple, right?
It's
You
simple.
literally just
It's
call
simple.
and
Yeah,
close. It's so simple.
yeah.
So simple.
I much
Um,
prefer one call close over. Don't even talk appointments. Oh,
what
jeez.
are huge mistakes, right, that new agents don't even know that they're making?
Joining the wrong team. Joining the wrong team, I'd say. And trying to do too many different things at once, right? So, for
Lamborghinis,
example,
bro?
oh yeah,
The
renting a
Lamborghini?
Lamborghini. Yeah, how about that? So, I'm not gonna say any names here, but I would say joining the wrong team, and maybe guys, you're gonna know pretty quick if you join the wrong team because you're not getting trained properly, or the things they're training you on are no longer um, relevant today. Because the industry has changed so much since we joined, it's ridiculous. You're probably calling from a number that's flagged as spam, right? If you're
Yeah, it's
dialing,
funny
if you
because I was actually talking with an agent today, and he's like, "Dude, I'm calling these leads, and I've gotten like I've gotten 30 leads, and I've gotten 4 pickups, which in itself isn't horrible." But I was like, "Okay, are you using Kixie? No, okay, great. What are you dialing from?" And I was like, he's like, "Oh, it's my phone." And I was like,
oh
"Dude, you're
jeez,
getting them marked as spam. No wonder."
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, we made that mistake. What was
Huge
it like? We
mistake.
we did like a week, and it's like no one made one sale, and then we tested our numbers. So, I mean, phone reputation management is one thing, but if your team is not up to date on all these regulations and all these things that affect people picking up the phone, that is the hardest thing in our industry is getting people to pick up the phone. Damn it, that sucks. But that's like we still get them on the phone, we get the business. But if the person that you're working with does not know about, phone reputation management, TCPA kind TCPA violations, do they know about 10 DC violations? Like you got to know this stuff because it's affecting our business and it's changing every 3 months. It seems like it's absolute BS. So the FCC, if you see this, relax. Okay, I'm just trying to feed my family here. All right, who's ever controlling that?
Yeah,
But you,
dude.
you, you got to be with a team. Okay, just hold on. You got to be with a team who's about it and up to date on the current things. That's number one. Number two is writing bad business with low quality carriers, right? So if you're doing final expense and you're not writing true social security billing or you're taking direct express guaranteed issue policies, I mean, you're probably going to fall off and you're probably going to get a bunch of chargebacks. And if your upline is saying that's okay, that's questionable to say the least. Very questionable.
Yeah.
So joining the right team to make it to summarize.
Yeah, it's important to actually ask the questions on the application, and if your upline saying, "Hey, mark no to every one of
Oh
them and
my
just move
god.
on," that's not the way to do it, right? And
Yeah.
so that's a sign, and it's interesting because even experienced agents don't even know that that's like the reality. They're getting trained so poorly, it's just horrible, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the barrier of entry is just so crazy. It's just like, okay, get your license, now you can just go sell whatever you want. So it's super important as far as that goes, right? Um, your work ethic is definitely one of the most impressive things as well. What is your like daily schedule to be able to do? I mean, dude, $19,000,
Hmm.
$6,000 what on Monday? I mean, dude, simplified issue,
Yeah.
final expense, telesales. If you're not doing that right now, I mean, what you have to be you got to be listening to this guy like left and
So
right. I mean, that's just the reality, right?
awesome. Well, thanks, Johnny. That feels awfully good. So okay, let's break it down. So this week and this week is like not. I didn't get like one super big case, right? It's just a lot of apps and a lot of activity and a lot of good quality leads, right? So my day to answer your question is I don't
Yeah, and
really
you're
do
closing what 11, 12% now of
twelve point seven seven.
self-generated leads.
12.77 of total lead volume, which is huge. I've never closed that much of my like lead volume. So people that don't understand, that's how many leads did you receive out of how many apps did you take, right? So that's 12.77. Yeah, fantastic, awesome.
Dude, that
So
is insane. And guys, for if you guys actually know your numbers left and right? 12.77, which is wild. What's your average case size?
I'll tell you right now. Hold on, I gotta refresh this. Average case for, we'll do month to date.
Yep.
Okay, average case month to date. In my old age, my vision's not what it used to be. Give me a second, please, Johnny. Average policy APV 1,120 and 88 cents. Right. So, I mean, this month it's three grand in ad spend, and I didn't even work the first week. I was partying in Canada. Sue me. Okay. So 329 leaves received, 42 apps. Okay. Average case, call it 11. Okay. 1,120 leads. Percentage of leads closed, 12.77. Dials per sale, 45. Leads per sale, 7.8. So that means if I get 7 leads received, right, I'm taking an app, right? That's huge, right? So more leads, please, right? Yeah, you
Dude,
gotta
that is
know these
ridiculous.
numbers, folks.
Dude, that is wild. I mean, dude, I calculated you're literally over a 10x on the month, easy, right?
Correct. Oh, easy, yeah.
So, bro, it's just like insanely profitable, dude. I mean, you what you spend in ads, you're doing it like almost every day now, right? In a
Uh-huh.
month, which is wild. So, um, I mean, dude, getting into another tax bracket, how's that feel?
It feels good. So hopefully we could I could take some more people out on some company dinners, right? Write that down. But I mean, like, should we talk commissions? Like straight up, G. So like, is that
Yeah,
okay? Like I don't want to like
yeah,
overstep here.
let's go.
But so total volume for the week. So let's say total volume for the week is $17,386.20. Okay. Let's say 80 of that gets issued. You know, let's say 75%. Let's be conservative. Okay. So what is that? 12,386. Okay. So of that, 80% gets issued, right? So that's 900, call it 999, 900, yeah, 9,900, call it, okay? So of that 99, say my commission rate, because my commission rate ranges from, if it's GI, 80% to we're working on, higher commissions, but around anywhere between 80 to 100. Call the median what? 90, okay? I don't do a lot of GI business, by the way. You shouldn't either, okay? So say commission rate, let's say 90, okay? So times that by 0.9. Okay, so that's $8,917. Okay, so
Almost
what is
9 grand in
that's
straight
9 grand? And okay,
commission.
I say that's advanced, so 0.7. So just 1 week, and the week ain't over yet. These are extremely conservative numbers too. That's $6,688.44. And say a few of them fall off, a few of them charge back. That's okay. I mean, net, you're right around probably the 5,000 to $6,000 range, net with extremely conservative numbers. I don't like to cap and say like fake numbers because that's realistic, right? Spending this gets issued, this sticks, some of it charges back, right? So all said and done in 3 months, and that's not even including back pay, you're looking at around maybe 5 to 6 profit, right? Not what you saw on the leaderboard. That doesn't matter. What did you spend on leads? What hit your bank account? Boom. That's what matters.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what's possible if you work.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's super important. You got to be putting in the dials, right? And if you're not making the money that you want to make, you have to just be putting in the dials. Like put the ego aside, put the pride aside, put whatever it is aside, put the fear aside, and actually just do the things that you have to do over and over and over and over and over again. Because the more feelings and the more feelings and the more time and energy that you actually spend putting towards what you said it the other day, right? What you think about, you bring about. If you keep
Agreed.
thinking and planting seeds of doubt that somebody's going to give you an objection, you're going to be looking for it, right? And so it's super important to just, I don't get objections. I don't have competitors. There's nobody in this space that can get the results that I have for clients because I don't see them. I'm focused on getting clients results. I'm not focused on other people getting clients results. I don't care. The client is the most important thing
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, right? Like
Yep.
that's literally it.
There's a saying, it's confidence is the currency, no, consistency is the currency of confidence, right? That's a good one. But I didn't answer your prior question. Schedule.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a big I used to do this like big elaborate like 2 hour morning routine. I don't even do that because it's like Hormozy says it. Shout out to Alex Morsey. The amount of time that you could
Warzy?
shorten Mosey, Howard Hormozy, whatever,
Yeah.
the nose guy, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
Who? No, I'm just kidding. I
so
know.
the amount of time that you could shorten from getting it out of bed to getting to work, you'll be more successful. So realistically, what I do is I don't even have an alarm because sleep is really important because I need to make sure I'm not agitated. So I wake up when I wake up, typically around 7:30. Drink a coffee, take a bunch of caffeine, take a bunch of nicotine. Shout out to Zyn, sponsor me. Anyway, spending all my money on Zins for goodness sake. And then I get on the phones for around 8:30, and I do not call. I won't call. I won't call till after 8:30 local time. So their time zone. Okay, don't be
Good.
like somebody I know and call someone at 3 o'clock in the morning because they're in Alaska. I'm not going to point any fingers, but I know them very well. So from 8:30 to 12, strictly new business. I don't care if a client calls me, unless it's an emergency, I'm not picking up. My phone is on focus mode. The only notifications I could get is from my CRM. Gmail is closed. Slack is closed. It is new business time. At 12 to 1, I'll take a little break to catch up on admin work, respond to emails, or do any sort of like pending business stuff that I need to handle, right? It's getting
Yeah.
kind of overwhelming because that's an hour, right? And then I'll take a little break there, and I'm not eating for this entire time. I will not eat until I'm done work, until I make 2 sales at
Just
least.
caffeine pills and cigars, right?
Just
For
caffeine
you.
pills, cigars, coffee, my G. And then from 1 to 4, that's another dial session. So guess what? Phone's on focus mode. We're ripping the phones. Boom, boom, boom. As the phone is ripping, I'm texting people, right? That's a whole other talk. And then from 4 to 5, I'll do another outstanding requirement portion. And then I'll do another time block at from 5 to 7. I like to be off the phones for 7 if possible. But if a new lead comes in and it's 11 o'clock, and they want to talk, I'm taking the business. I mean, I did it the other day. Sweet, lovely lady from Mississippi. I forgot your name, but glad I could help you out. But the point is guys, is when it's
There's
time to
too
dial,
many.
it's time to dial. Dang it. None of this, like, it drives me insane. I'll be in a dial room and people are like on their phone on Instagram. I want to like reach through the screen and choke them and say like, bro, you need money. You need to be calling the leads. So time block, right? And then just no distractions. Like when I dial, my room is dark, no distractions, right? It's just me and my leads, and I'm just hyper focused on getting someone to pick up. Want me to pick up, Johnny? Yeah, I mean, I get right into it,
Yeah.
right?
Well, dude, I mean, what's holding us back from going through a full presentation right now?
A full
Role
prezzo?
play.
I mean, a full prezzo in what, 18 minutes?
Let's role play.
Open to close?
We'll start from why questions.
Okay. Now, let me pull up my script here. Hold on.
Let's go.
Give me a second.
Guys, take notes right now. Grab your pen and paper, right? Like literally one of these things right here. Grab your pen, grab your paper. If you guys want the script, DM me on Instagram right now, script. And I'll actually send the word script. Some of you guys have sent me a full paragraph, which I appreciate, but just send me the word script. I'll send it over to you, send it over to your email. So you can literally just copy and paste this into your business. So Max, let's go do this thing.
All right. Okay, Johnny. So just so you're aware, our system right now is actually kind of calculating the rates just to make sure that we're showing you, the best option in the state there. However, Arizona does require that I leave you with 2 pieces of my personal information. Number one, full legal name, and the second is my Arizona license number. So if you could you please grab a pen and paper and let me know when you're ready, please?
Yep.
Okay. So my name is Maxwell Baker, and then my license number for Arizona is 6969 669 9 at the end there. Can you read that back to me so I know it's correct, please, sir?
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Okay, good deal. And Johnny, is your phone about to die? Like you have enough charge?
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing worse than having someone's phone die mid-prezzo. Oh my gosh, it sucks. Okay, good deal. Now,
Is
Johnny,
that
like
what
I
you
mentioned,
say? No, I'm just kidding. No,
now,
but keep going.
now, Johnny, like I mentioned, our system is just kind of working in the background here, so just give that. It only takes a few minutes. But kind of walk me back here, Johnny. What have you been looking around at some coverage for a while, or did you just start?
I just started.
Yeah. Okay. And about, is there any pending applications out there, like with any other insurance companies that are still going through underwriting or anything like that?
No.
No? Okay, gotcha. And about, let me ask you this here. Have you owned private life insurance in the past? No?
No,
Never?
I haven't.
Okay, gotcha. And if I may ask, Johnny, what's kind of been holding you back in the past from getting some coverage for Bailey?
I just I mean, I've just had I've work coverage, right? So I'm about to
Uh,
retire and I know that the wife wants me to start looking into it, you know? So
yeah.
that's the why I called you.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't want to give her any ideas, do we? Okay, so good deal. That makes a lot of sense, right? So you're aware that, when you do retire, they don't let you keep that policy, the group policy, and it majority of the time it is a decreasing death benefit. Do you know what that is, Johnny?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's probably going to start here, and then it's going to decrease down typically to around 3 to 5 thousand. But as a man, you were kind of looking for something that you control, your employer doesn't control. That's always going to be there when you need it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I mean, as a man should, right? All right. And let me ask you this, Johnny. You mentioned you were going down the traditional burial route. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know about how much a burial costs these days in the state?
Oh, I mean, inflation rates should just keep going up, right?
I
So
know. I wonder
I
why.
like $50,000 is what I've heard.
Mm. Okay, well, I don't know if your casket's gonna be made out of diamond, but that's a little high.
No,
Typically, what
just
we
the
see in
basic
our end,
one.
yeah,
Especially with rates nowadays, it's like 50 to 100,000.
yeah. So what we're typically seeing for a burial is it's not that much, like you said, but it's typically the today price is not going to be the tomorrow price, right? So we got to factor that in, and we'll get to that shortly. But we're seeing on average anywhere between 10 to 12 for today, as long as you're not going too fancy, right? However, Johnny, since you're only 62 years young, it's important that we have enough in the future, right? So what I tell all my clients that are in your age bracket is we would like to see you as close as we can to either the $15,000 to $20,000 range, right? At least we want to see you at 15 because what 15 is going to ensure is that you live for the next 20 years. If you live to the later part of that, we're going to have just enough as long as we don't go too fancy. If you pass away earlier, that means Bailey could go shopping. Okay, makes sense,
Yeah.
right? And you did mention that you do want to leave something a little extra for her, right? Just in case she has for any
Yeah.
bills, right? So anything above that 15 is going to be considered I love you money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Great. Ben, I mean, I know it's kind of hard to talk about. Would that be kind of tough for Bailey to come out of pocket 15,000? Say if we couldn't find you anything.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, who has that kind of cash laying around these days, right? But like, what would she have to do? Like, does she have like other family members she could ask, or like what would that kind of look like for her?
I mean, she'd have to pass the hat.
Yeah. And then as a man, you don't want to have to go through that embarrassment of, having her pass around the hat at church or as being known as, the guy that left his wife with a bill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's two people, Johnny. There's two types of husbands. Either you either live your wife with a bill, or you leave her with a check. And I'm assuming that's probably why we're having this conversation, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I got to be honest with you, Johnny. I mean, I talk to a lot of people, a lot, and it's sad because a lot of them act like this stuff doesn't exist. They're completely okay leaving their family with a huge bill, and it's sad, right? And on the other hand, we're able to hand families checks for $15,000, $20,000, and they're still heartbroken. I mean, being heartbroken and financially stressed out and potentially losing your home. I mean, you don't want to have you. I see it happen all the time, Johnny, and I know it's not an easy conversation to have, but I commend you as a man for looking into this. And but if I could ask Johnny, why is this so important to you? Why is this so important to you now?
Just making sure my wife's taken care of.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. And I'm sure Johnny that we could agree that having some coverage in place would be better than having no coverage in place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. And Johnny, say if we could find you something that was able to give you the peace of mind that yourself and Bailey have been looking for the past I don't know a couple of months, and it fit within your budget comfortably. Is there anything holding you back to see if we can even get you qualified for that plan, sir?
No, not right now.
No. Okay, good deal. All right. And the name of the company has loaded. However, the rates are still loading. Those are just about done here. So with your pen and paper handy, I want you to write this company down, please. I want you to write down the company Family Benefit. They also go by Trinity Life Insurance Company of America. To keep things short, Johnny, I'm just going to not go too in depth here, but I'm just going
Yep.
to tell them. Now, this is an A-rated company that's been in business for over 100 years, right? So they're it's a very, very good quality carrier. And this is a whole life policy, right? Now, since you never owned private life insurance in the past, to keep it very simple for you, Johnny, whole life is going to cover you for your whole life, okay? We don't want to look at term because that's only going to cover you for 10, 15, 20 years, and then you have to go shopping again after, okay? Big waste of money if you're looking at final expense, right? So this is whole life going to cover you for your whole life. Now, Johnny, since you're in pretty good shape, this would be day one coverage, right? So what does that mean? Policy gets approved, pass away the next day. Bailey's entitled to the full death benefit, not just a small portion of it, okay?
Yep.
None of this 2, 3 year waiting baloney that you get in the mail. Okay, this is day one effective coverage. Okay, and very, very important is that this company all of their customer service is located domestically here in the US. Okay, so say if we need to update the policy, or say if we need to, heaven forbid, do a death claim, we're not calling an overseas call center and on hold for 2 hours. All right, trust me, there's carriers that do
That's
that, and I
the
refuse to
worst.
work with them. That's the worst. I want to be talking to Americans, damn it, right? Don't say that. And what's also cool about this, Johnny, it's going to come with some living benefits. So, heaven forbid, say if you go to the doctor and they say, Johnny, got some bad news for you, sir. You're actually going to pass away in 12 months. Sorry. You get that to me in writing, we'll actually be able to cut you a check for 20 grand if that's what we land on.
Wow.
So you could have cash on hand versus Bailey having to wait until you passed away in order to get that money, right? That'd be pretty helpful, wouldn't it?
It would.
Good deal. And also, since you do ride a motorcycle, you mentioned, for a few extra dollars, we could have the death benefit double if you die of an accidental death, slip and fall in a tub, motorcycle accident, car accident, anything non-natural. That 20,000 would turn to 40,000. Make sense?
Yeah, that
Right.
does. That's awesome.
And then the final thing here is, since this is a whole life policy, it is going to earn something called cash value. So you know how some accounts, they earn interest?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with whole life policies. So you're going to earn anywhere between 3 to 4%. It's not going to make you rich. However, say if you do win the lottery in the future, obviously send some money to your life insurance agent. But point being is that if you do need to get some money back in the future, you'll be able to do that. So it gives you some flexibility in the future, unlike
Yeah.
auto insurance, health insurance, or
All right, keep
term
going.
insurance.
Go to the before the numbers part.
All right. Now, Johnny, it looks like the company is going to be recommending 3 different death benefits for us. So from top to bottom, on the left-hand side, I want you to write down these 3 numbers, okay? 20,000, okay, at the very top. 15,000.
Okay.
And then 12,000. Okay. Now,
Okay.
20,000, what that's going to do for you is that's going to ensure that even if you live to your 80s or your 90s, that there's always going to be enough. And then Bailey's going to be able to go shopping with maybe about 5 grand, maybe 4 grand, right? Depends how fancy you go. Okay.
Yeah.
15,000, that's going to ensure that if you pass away relatively soon, there's going to be enough and a little bit extra. Okay. Maybe 3,000 extra, 2,000 extra, depending how fancy you go. Again, now the 12,000, Johnny, I'm going to really recommend we don't go much lower than this, because if you live another 10, 15 years, this is probably not going to be enough. It's going to be enough for now. Okay, so this is our now policy at the bottom. But again, Johnny, something is better than nothing. Now, do those numbers make sense to you and what they'll do for you and your family?
Yeah.
All right, now good deal here. So do you have 20, 15, 12 written down?
Yep.
Okay, now, so the rate's just loaded here, Johnny. But Johnny, I've been doing this long enough to know that, when someone says they want to think about it, it just typically means it's too expensive. So, I mean, if these numbers are too expensive for you, no hard feelings, but could you just let me know? We could try to find another solution. And if we can't, I mean, we could just part ways as friends. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, that is fair.
Gotcha. I mean, some people are so rude, Johnny. I'll tell them the rates and they'll just hang up on me. You wouldn't do that, would you?
No.
Okay, good deal. Not Johnny Ninafan, right? All right, Johnny. So at the very top there, the $20,000 option, which is the future and give her a little bit of I love you money. This might be a little out of your budget here, but that's only $126.68 a month. So 126.68. Okay.
Okay.
And then the $15,000 option would be $95.65. Okay. And then the $12,000 option, that would only be $77.04. So we got 126, 95, 77. Do you have those written down?
Yeah.
Now, real quick, before you even look at those, Johnny, let me kind of explain how the process works, because you have never had private life insurance in the past, which is okay. But Johnny, even if you put a gun to my head and said, Mr. Maxwell, give me the $20,000 option right now, I actually couldn't give it to you, because you can't just buy life insurance. You have to first medically qualify for it, okay? So all we could even do today, and there's no transaction of money, so you're not paying for anything today, don't worry, is simply pick a number that would be comfortable for your budget, okay? And then one of the 3 things could happen. Number 1, we get declined. Not that big of a deal. We would just change insurance companies, and the price would change by, this is not an exaggeration, $1.50. Okay, not a big deal, right? Number 2, the counteroffer. Counteroffer simply means they give us a different rate. We either accept this new rate or we just change insurance companies. Again, it's not that big of a deal. We just have to go back to the drawing board. Make sense?
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
3, they approve you. Now, upon approval, in about 3 business days, you're going to be receiving a thank you card from myself and Senior Benefit Services for your business. And then in about 10 to 15 business days, depends on how quickly they could print and mail to you, you'll be receiving your policy in the mail from Family Benefit. Okay. Now,
Okay.
in the state of Arizona, we actually have up to 30 days to make any adjustments. What do I mean by this? For example, Johnny, say if you land on the 126 and we actually get approved for it, happy days. And then you're looking it over with Bailey, and Bailey's like, Johnny, we can't afford this. Women, right? She starts getting mad at you because it's too much. Hey, not a big deal. As long as you let me know within 30 days, we could adjust that premium down. It's a simple email, okay? And then if the policy is started within that 30-day period, they would actually refund you for the difference, right? So what would that be? I don't know. I skipped that class. Like what, like $56, right? Point
Mm-hmm.
being, Johnny, is you have plenty of time to talk about it, think about it, pray about it. I mean, don't fight about it with Bailey, obviously, but it's not really a one and done thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we don't fight, Max.
Oh, that was not the same case with my ex-wife. But anyway, um, Johnny, if you could please circle the option there that would give you the peace of mind you were looking for, but more importantly, fit within your budget comfortably. Go ahead. Okay, and which option did you circle, sir?
Oh man, these are all pretty expensive.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, no problem at all, Johnny. I appreciate you. I appreciate you telling me. And so these options are just a little too much right now. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, how much too much are they?
Uh, I like the last option.
Okay, so just to be safe, Johnny, because I don't want to get you in trouble with Bailey, let's cross out the top one, cross out the bottom one, and then I'm actually going to give you another set of numbers here. And again, this isn't written in stone. The hardest part is seeing if we could get you qualified for it first, and then we could always make adjustments for it. So I want you to write down 11,000 right below the 12, okay? And then write down the
Okay.
10,000. And it's always important to understand, Johnny, that when the economy is a little better, we could always add coverage in the future, whether it's with this company or with another. It's not that big of a deal. We do it all the time, right?
Yep.
So if it's a little tight right now, hey, I get it, right? So the 11,000, that would be $65.12, okay? And then the
Yep.
10,000 would be $52.11. Now, out of those three, Johnny, are those a little more palatable for you, good sir?
That second one for sure.
Okay, so go ahead and please cross out the 12, cross out the 10, and then circle the 11 for me, please, just so there's no confusion, okay? And
Okay.
where's a good address so that they could print and mail this to you, say if you were to get approved? Boom, right into the app.
Okay,
No
so
dead
let's go to
space.
social and banking real quick. How do
Let's
you
do
ask for
social.
these?
Okay. So, all right, Johnny, I'm just gonna make sure that this first page here is correct, okay? So we got Johnny Nitafan, born on 05/08/1958, is that correct?
Yep.
Gender at birth is male, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, and your address is 6969 69 Place Avenue, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, apartment 69? Okay.
Yes.
All right, and your email address is johnnynitafan@gmail.com, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Primary beneficiary is to be Bailey Nitafan. She was born on 12/22/1963, is that correct?
Yes.
She's your legal spouse?
Yep.
We're not listing a contingent beneficiary right now, right? We're gonna do
Correct.
that later. Okay, understood. And then I have your date of birth, not date of birth, my apologies. I have your phone number here as 727-392-2526. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is
Okay,
right.
Johnny Nitafin, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yep.
Were you born in the United States of America?
Yes, I was.
Your state of birth
Arizona.
and your social?
Uh, do you need that?
Yes. Have you ever actually done a death claim with an insurance company before, Johnny?
Yeah, I have
Oh, okay.
65, 65, 67, 67,
Okay. Good deal.
89.
All right, good deal. All right, Johnny. And if we do get this approved, we'll be setting this up through Trinity Family Benefits Bank Service Plan. Which bank do you typically use?
Wells Fargo actually.
Wells Fargo? Oh yeah, Wells Fargo solid. Have you been with them a while? A lot of our clients from Arizona use them.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of them do.
Okay. Yeah, and since Wells Fargo is actually one of the preferred lenders with Trinity Family Benefit, the routing number populates as 0769 9669. Could you confirm that that's correct, please? Because sometimes they're wrong.
Yes, that is.
Okay. Could you just double check that? Do you have like a blank check laying around here? Because I love talking to you, Johnny, but I would hate to have to do this all over again. You know what I'm saying?
Actually,
So
it
go.
is. Yep, you're right.
Okay. So I'm going to read it back to you. Ready? Six
Yep,
nine 65 69 69. Correct?
that is right.
And the account number?
88855.
88855. And you opened this up in Arizona, right?
Exactly.
Name on the account is just first and last.
Yep,
And you mentioned you get paid your Social Security on the 3rd. Is that correct?
That is right.
Okay, good deal. So Johnny, what I want you to do is I want you to write down 08/03
Mm-hmm.
2024 and then
Yep.
EF date beside it. That stands for effective date. Now, if you could go ahead and open up your email, please, you're going to be receiving an email from Trinity Family Benefit, and then we should know relatively shortly if this is the carrier you're going with.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bang!
Boom. There you go. Guys, watch that back right now. Max, this has been awesome. You've dropped so much knowledge, information to these people. Where can people reach out to you, figure out what exactly how you're doing it? Like literally copy the exact blueprint that you've been doing. Where can people reach out to you and find you?
All right, if you're trying to recruit me, I swear to God, don't. All right, if you're trying to sell me
Blocked.
some BS lead system,
Blocked.
don't do it. Especially if you're okay. I don't want to say anything too bad here. You can find me on Facebook, Maxwell Baker, or you can find me on Instagram, Max is well Baker. I'm always posting my P, as in posting my production, because I'm about it. You know, you can't just flex on a leaderboard. I mean, I'm actually posting the real sale of the app, okay? Because I'm actually selling here. I'm in the trenches with you guys,
Real
right? So
G's,
reach out to
real
me.
G's post proof.
Real G's pros proof of sale, not just something in a Slack. So if you're doing that, don't do that, right? But reach out. We could talk about the business. Don't expect for me to take a call in the morning or the afternoons. I'm just not. I don't care who you are, to be honest, unless you're Patrick Bet David. Reach out to me in the
Oh, this
evening. We
is
could
so
chat.
funny.
I
What
love you,
was that?
Patrick. Yeah, reach out to me during the evening. We could chat about the business. If you're not making money, I've been there a lot of times and it sucks. And if you're new, be nice to yourself. And if you're new and you want to talk about it, I mean, we could hop on a quick call, super quick. I have no time for myself. But yeah, thanks for having me, Johnny. Much appreciated. I love talking about the business with you, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. And guys, if you've watched up until this point, I appreciate you. If you haven't already, subscribe right now to the channel. Share this with a friend, right? If you actually care about them. Share this with a friend if you actually found it valuable, which I know you did. Subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Oh, by the way, click right here for the training of the full script breakdown that I went through. Peace.